Hello everybody from Plant Reviews UK. Today is the 17th of May and in this video I'm talking about the last of my tulips to bloom, that is Tulipa aximensis. This tulip is often sold as a tulip species from France, from Southeast France. However, recent genetic analysis has shown that this is not a species but actually is a hybrid tulip, so should be called really Tulipa gesneriana or Tulipa cross gesneriana as a scientific name. And the reason why this has been confused as a species is that actually it is a naturalized hybrid, and this hybrid population in southeast of France actually developed quite a consistency in the population, showing basically the same characteristics repeated in different generations of tulips. So basically it mimics a tulip species, even if actually is not. Other tulip varieties also have been found in the wild, and basically in time they formed a homogeneous population with a growing and breeding pattern similar to wild species. And these kind of tulip hybrids that mimic tulip species are called scientifically neo-tulipae, that means new tulips, being Tulipa the scientific name of the tulip, of the genus for the tulips, and neo in Latin means new. In particular, the neo-tulips of France probably are ancient introductions of Tulipa gesneriana, and they date back possibly as much as 500 years ago. And this population also are distinct from each other and unique. While Tulipa aximensis is increasingly rare in the wild, it is actually quite well established in the bulb trade as ornamental plant. Even if definitely it's not one of the most common tulips you can find, it's still possible to find it in several bulb specialists, and in particular I bought mine from farmer Gracie. This is almost impossible anyway to find in garden center. Honestly, I've never found a Tulip aximensis available in garden center, so I really would recommend you go to online bulb specialist if you really want this tulip. This is a tulip that usually grow to about 30 centimeters tall, as in the main pots as well grew about this height. It is one of the last tulips to bloom. It blooms in late spring, and indeed it is the very last tulip to bloom in my collection. You won't find any more videos about tulips this year, because this is the very last one to bloom for me, this year at least. About the cultivation requirements, this is a very typical tulips. To grow needs full sun, like all the other tulips I know, even if can grow like all the other tulips I know in partial shade, but really for tulips the exposure to full sun is always the best. Need also well drained soil. I couldn't find any details about the USDA zone that this tulip is hardy. However, it is reported that usually hybrid tulips are hardy in USDA zones between 3 and 9, and considering that Tulipa aximensis comes from the alpine area of the southeast of France, I believe that also this tulip is hardy between the USDA 3 and 9. The flowers of this tulip are very much goblet shaped, almost like an egg, and as you can see the color is a very deep red, like a magenta red, with flashes of like gray cream on the tepals. The more the flower ages, the less these gray cream stripes are evident, and the flower gets an overall very deep magenta color. The flower really are very peculiar in being almost oval, really like an egg. Some of the flowers are a bit faded already, but for example this one is still quite fresh, and as you can see, indeed this kind of stripy or striped on the sepals of the tulip. Remember that the tulips have 6 structures called tepals that are actually composed from 3 sepals, the outer ones, that in this case in Tulip aximensis have these kind of grayish cream stripe in between, and the inner tepals that in Tulip aximensis show basically a very homogeneous magenta red. The flowers are not particularly big. I would say probably they're about if the flower would fully open, they would probably about 8-9 centimeters across, but actually I've never found this tulip fully open, and today it is absolutely full sun. As you can see, there is not even one cloud, and still the tulip are not opened at all, but they always keep this egg shape in the flower. So really, if you like tulips that are almost spherical or at least oval, definitely aximensis is the one for you. The base of the flower is like greenish white, and as you can see, actually I'll show you this one. Probably I'll try to do it in the sun because it's of course definitely better. I'm trying to, okay, maybe it's better like here. So hopefully you can see the center of the tulip that is kind of okay, here is probably better. You can see that actually is yeah, this whitish greenish with some kind of black stripes in the center. What usually is a black blotch in most tulips in the center, in Tulip aximensis, is replaced by kind of a few stripes, or like a very pale gray-green in the center, intermingled obviously with an overall creamy white background. It's like to have a little bit washed out black blotch in Tulip aximensis. However, even if the base is a little bit washed out, definitely it's not the brilliant black center that you can find, for example, in Tulipa. The Tulipa libella is another beautiful hybrid variety, or as a species the beautiful black centers of Tulipa stapfii, or other bright red tulip. The color of the tepals of the flowers are absolutely gorgeous, this brilliant deep magenta red. About the fragrances, wow, there's a lot of pollen. I blew in my nose. The fragrance is very light, kind of sweet, but not even that sweet as some other tulips have, like for example Apricot Beauty. It is a kind of cut grass fragrance, I would say. Definitely not that. Okay, tulip in general, in my opinion, are not among the most fragrant flowers, but definitely Tulip aximensis, I wouldn't even bother to define it as lightly fragrant, because really is I can barely detect it. I can barely detect this kind of cut grass fragrance. However, again, it is such a beautiful color, this tulip, that if you want to extend the tulip season in your garden, even if the flowers are quite small, this is definitely one of the flowers to go. As usual, thank you very much for watching the video, and if you like this video, it would be great if you can please give it a thumbs up, and if you like this video and the other videos on my channel, it would be great, of course, if you can please subscribe to support my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye.